tell you what it's all about. It's a rock and roll symphony, and it's gonna be the death of me.
The last thing Schubert remembered, he had been hired by the Zimbabwean government to ensure that the trade laws in eastern Ontario were strictly enforced. As you can probably tell, Zimbabwe is not overly concerned with the trade laws of eastern Ontario. But you see, Schubert doesn't know how to get to eastern Ontario, so he's hitched a ride with a group he hopes will go north. Obviously putting too much trust in the group, Schubert falls asleep. What is this place? Schubert asks himself. All he knows is that he's been dropped off, hopefully in the general vicinity of eastern Ontario. After being mildly frightened by the large beast-like machine behind him, Schubert regains his composure and decides to climb up for a better look. Hearing the crack of a gun, Schubert hopes to find a hunter willing to give him food. Once finding the mighty hunter merely doing target practice, Schubert had a hard time getting his attention. "Get off my property!" said the mighty hunter. "Right away, sir!" Schubert shouted as he rushed his little hiney out of there. Schubert realizes suddenly that his blind running has led him to a path in a mighty forest. Schubert doesn't want to let the Zimbabwean government down, and so he must conquer this forest and return to uphold the trade laws. Schubert does this the best way he knows how. Crying for mommy! When this doesn't work, Schubert presses on. As the hike continues, Schubert constantly attempts to communicate with the locals. Some of them never acknowledge his presence. Some merely ignore him. A rare few even find comfort in hiding underneath Schubert, as he has size and color similarities to a rock. During Schubert's hike, he begins to realize that the trail doesn't seem to be leading him anywhere, and he worries that he may be going in circles. Schubert wanders off the path for just a moment, when he finds what he knows to be a state-of-the-art bloodhound training facility. He is confused as to why they'd pick a place that is so mossy. Boy, Schubert thought, adventures sure make you thirsty. But the last water Schubert had seen was miles away, and unfortunately for Schubert, he has no idea how to find such things, as he goes through life relying on his good looks. Schubert, you poor soul. What is this? Schubert becomes extremely excited, seeing the first man-made object in hours. After climbing to get a better look, sadness rolls over Schubert as he realizes his lack of education has left him illiterate and he has no clue what this sign says. Following his gut, a hunch, and an itch, Schubert decides to seek out water on the trail leading off to his left. If vocal enthusiasm could convey the excitement that Schubert felt at this moment, hearts would pound across America. A shelter. Yes, Schubert has found shelter A. Though excited, Schubert must walk on by, as there is no water source in this haven from the elements. What's that sound? Schubert barely even trusts his own tympanic membranes, which he calls, for lack of a better term, ears, when sounds of water echo around him. Without even pausing for breath, Schubert fills his tiny tummy with the cool, refreshing liquid, which rejuvenates his body and soul. Feeling refreshed, Schubert decides to walk along the bank and search for food. He also hopes that if he... What was that? A car! A car! Schubert definitely just heard a car. Doing his best to catch up with the sound, Schubert hops on board a piece of bark and braves the treacherous waters. But no! What's this? Though his best effort was given, Schubert was overthrown by the mighty river. After finally managing to make his way to shore, drenched and disoriented, Schubert heads back into the woods. Is that pavement? Oh, glorious day! Schubert exclaims, as he knows this will finally lead him to other people. Schubert races along, excited and energized. But don't go too fast now, Schubert. Wow, in the rush, Schubert must have forgotten how hungry he really was. Quickly reminded by catching a whiff of something in the air, Schubert crosses the road to investigate. Though he has found another shelter, Schubert fears it is like the last, all picnic tables and no picnic. Unless... Sweet sustenance! Oh, how Schubert has longed for this moment! Feeling full, Schubert climbs into a nearby hole. While deciding to take a nap, Schubert sees something surprising. A sandbox! Oh, the joys of digging, building sandcastles, and burying himself. Schubert, you're about as easily entertained as a bunch of college students playing with plastic dinosaurs.